from Functional Senior Fitness, welcoming you to part 2 of my 3-part series on how to get down and up from the floor both safely and securely. In this video, you're going to learn a variation of the hip hinge known as a tandem hip hinge. This simple variation will give your hips a much greater range of motion, allowing you to lower your upper body closer to the floor using the flexibility you already possess. The only difference between the tandem hip hinge and the one that you've already been practicing is the starting position. In the tandem hip hinge, one foot will be behind the other. Keep in mind that behind does not mean one foot directly behind the other. Even though your feet are offset, they still need to maintain that shoulder width position. No tightrope walking. You're going to practice the tandem hip hinge standing next to a piece of sturdy furniture. You're going to begin in the starting position of the hip hinge, and then you're going to take the leg that's closest to that piece of furniture, and you're going to take a small step back while maintaining that shoulder width position of the feet. Then you're going to do what you've done all along. You're going to reach back with the tailbone, tilt the pelvis forward, bend the knees with a flat back and with your eyes forward. This hand on your knee, this hand is going to reach for that piece of furniture. And then to get up, again, you're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to lift the chest up, drive the hips forward, straighten the knees. Now, when you do this in this tandem position, you're going to notice they can go down a lot farther, a lot easier than in the standard position. So as long as you can maintain all the rules of the hip hinge and feel strong and on balance when you're doing it, I encourage you to go down as far as you feel safe doing. Now you may find as you go down deeper in the tandem hip hinge that you need something lower to lean on rather than your piece of furniture. If that's the case for you, then I strongly recommend you get one of these. This is a foam yoga block. They're very inexpensive, very light, and very strong. And when you first start using the yoga block, still do your practice next to a piece of furniture as a just in case. And then you're going to stand, feet shoulder width apart, the toes of one of your feet touching that yoga block. Now the foot that touches the yoga block is going to step back, and then you're going to do the tandem hip hinge. The idea being that you just barely touch the block and then come on up. Now this block is strong enough that if you needed to lean on it, you can. But the idea is as you practice, put less and less pressure on this block until you can do it by barely touching it. When that gets easy, try it short side facing up, with the ultimate goal of touching the ground. Once you're able to do the tandem hip hinge at least 5 times in a row on each side in as low a position as you are able to manage with no strength or balance issues whatsoever, it's time to add one small movement to it, the reach back. Go back to using your solid piece of furniture when first learning the reach back. Once that becomes easier for you, you can start practicing it in the lower positions. You're going to start by doing the down part of the tandem hip hinge, and then very subtly shift your weight over the front foot so the back foot is free. Once it's free, you're going to reach back as far as you can with that leg, making it straight. Then bring it to its original position, and then come up. To practice it, it'll look like this. Go down, a little shift, Reach back with the foot, bring it forward, and come up. Keep in mind that you need to reach back with that back foot no matter how low you go. Once you can do the tandem hip hinge with the reach back at least 5 times in a row on each side in as low a position as you're able to manage, it's time to move on to step 3. But until then, keep practicing and never forget that you're training for what really matters.